Minecraft has added a lot of cool mobs in the past, but Minecraft could use a lot of new cooler mobs. So we'll be counting down 40 Minecraft mobs Mojang should eventually add. Starting with the deer. Minecraft is no stranger to woodland mobs, and the deer could really add to this. The mob itself wouldn't add too much to the game, aside from a few droppable items like venison and antler horns. However, forests in Minecraft don't have a lot of depth to them. Some forests have things like bees and the various mobs already in Minecraft, but having deer would really spice up Minecraft's mob system, especially if paired with a new mob like the boar. Similar to the pig, the boar would just be an expansion on this mob. The largest thing likely lacking in Minecraft is its array of different mobs. Minecraft's simplicity is a great thing to have, but having a different variation of the same mobs that already exist would be a great addition to the game. The boar would drop raw pork chop just like the pig, but would live in the biomes like the forest. Visiting the forest with these two new mobs, deer and boar, would make the experience a lot better. While in the desert, there are mobs that already exist like the rabbit. Expanding on this mob could be extremely cool for the desert. This jumbo rabbit could function similar to how there are baby cows and large cows. Instead, for rabbits. While the little rabbits give few items, the jumbo rabbits could have a higher drop rate. This would enhance Minecraft's mob drop rates and add for a better experience. Just make sure you could come prepared to find a hyper rabbit, because this rabbit, similar to the rabbit already in the game, the hyper rabbit would be slightly faster with the new design. This could be amazing for adding depth to the existing mob system. Speaking of adding to the existing mob system, those pesky ghasts in the Nether can be extremely annoying. I mean, who in the right mind can really say they like the ghast? Well, now you can. This baby ghast being added gives you a lovable pet that makes the ugly normal ghast pale in comparison. You could even name him. Listen, I'm not really great at naming, but watch out, because these little guys can shoot smaller fireballs. This would be equivalent to owning a pet tiger in real life. Cute as a baby, but dangerous as a beast. However, unlike the baby ghast, this coconut crab is always going to be cute. I mean, just look at this little guy. Adding this coconut crab to Minecraft can add a lot to aquatic life. Say you're gathering wood and you walk into one of these guys. Then you capture him, send his family away in a boat, and make him work for you. Okay, maybe I shouldn't go that far, but you get my point. This mob is a really cute addition, which you can pair with a different variant of the sea turtle, the tortoise, to bring your sea life game up. The tortoise has a shell that functions like a shield. It can block one initial hit, but then the damage goes through. But I mean, why would you ever hurt the tortoise? Okay, maybe I would. The squirrel is a chunky mob that I think could really transform the way forests look. I think a good addition here would also be the acorn, giving this mob an item to harvest. That way they can bury them and they plant the trees. I think this would be a great concept, so you don't have to replant all the trees you chop down. The squirrels will do it for you, but as you're passing the squirrels, watch out for vultures. They don't attack you, but they will find any mobs or meat laying on the ground and steal it from you. They drop feathers like chicken, but they're not as nice as chicken. You can even trap them in a bird cage for viewing. Speaking of birds, there are some crazy additions to the bird system that would really spice up the mob system. The ice biome has very few mobs. Adding vanity mobs like the penguin can make this biome feel a lot less empty. They can probably make friends with the polar bears. Wait, no! Something Minecraft lacks is a lot of ambient mobs. There are a lot of large mobs in the game like cows, but of these smaller mobs in Minecraft, a lot of them are just really annoying. So adding a cool vanity mob like the lizard can add a lot to the game, like this dragonfly. If you're heading to the swamp biome to farm slimes, you could find these little guys roaming around in the swamp biome. They'd fly around and rest on lily pads, and as it turns to night, they'd go hide, making room for the fireflies, which should have been added in the previous Minecraft update, but Mojang never did. These little guys can make any night look like a night show. Something else that I think could be really cool is adding little jars and allowing you to capture them. Just don't let the slimes kill your fireflies. And speaking of slime, the new tropical slime could add a new version of the already existing slime, allowing for a more diverse, aggressive mob system. I think Minecraft has done a pretty good job of making various different mobs in the past, but like colored blocks, adding different variants of the same mob can create depth. It could be really cool to get colored slime balls too, even making them drop their own custom slime. It could double us crafting and maybe even die for different items. But for new mobs, alligators could be a great addition. Thankfully, this isn't Florida, because if it was, this thing would come knocking on your door at 3 a.m. But this guy could chill in the swamp biome. He'd probably be a little aggressive, but that's okay. His wife just left him. We'll cut him some slack. I think adding some fish specific to the swamp could be cool. Just like tropical fish in the warm biomes, or salmon and cod in rivers, I think adding catfish to murky water in rivers can be a great idea. Just be careful when you're fishing. These things, yeah. Lastly, adding a new variant of the witch could be pretty cool. This one's a little annoying, but the idea is to give the witch a stronger version. She throws liquid nitrogen and stuff at you, so you should probably stay away. In the safari biome, there are very few mobs added to the game. Generally, the new mobs Mojang adds are very one-off, and honestly, that's kind of annoying. I think adding new safari mobs like the rhino will change the game forever. Be careful though, this thing will charge. This guy would add a unique challenge to the safari. In a lot of biomes, there are things that prove as barriers of sorts. During the day, you have annoying things like water ravines, berry bushes, cactuses, and more. I think having something you have to avoid or have a hard time getting around can add some additional challenges to the safari. If you can manage to get past these guys, you'll eventually find a mob like a zebra. I think it would be cool to have more biome-specific mobs like this guy. They're pretty cool looking, and you could get meat or fur off of them for crafting. I think fur off of them that lets you craft colored leather armor could be really cool. And to get that leather armor, maybe you could kill crocodiles or even elephants. Be careful though, these things are massive. Just make sure you don't let anyone see you poaching these elephants. Otherwise, these lions will make quick work of you. The elephants are their prey, so you have to deal with them. Another thing I think Minecraft is missing is the concept of hunting. Some mobs hunt other mobs naturally, like wolves and skeletons, foxes and rabbits, cats and creepers. But there isn't much of a case of that in general. general. This could add a unique concept for farms too. Instead of expensive redstone, you could capture mobs and use them for farming. It would be a lot cheaper and could add some cool concepts to a lot of modern farms. The giraffes? Holy, these things are long. But again, these just go along the lines of cool mobs to add more variety. As far as drops go, they could drop leaves or different plants since that's what they eat. But they are just cool. They might even be pretty cool to keep as pets. Of course, I'm not sure what you're gonna do about that long neck. Speaking of long necks, the goose would be amazing to add. We have some birds in Minecraft, but adding geese that hunt fish could add a better format of an ecosystem. You could create amazing looking ponds and put these guys in it to create an ambient environment. You could even slip some fish in there. But overall, adding more birds to Minecraft would be cool. Like this cardinal. We have parrots, but Minecraft lacks a lot of different birds. We have bees and we have other animals, but birds are an essential part of ecosystems too. Adding a variety of bird colors similar to parrot coloring could create depth. You don't want a yellow bird? Cool. You can have this red cardinal. Don't want the red cardinal? The blue jay can be added too. This little guy is really cool. I don't recommend turning your volume up though, because these things are really annoying. Fancy chicken. It's just a fancy chicken. And the cluckshroom. I think mushrooms are already a great addition to Minecraft. I'm honestly surprised they haven't added a cluckshroom yet. Like, the concept of mushroom animals is pretty unique. They could even live in mushroom islands. But these guys are just really cool. It's literally just a chicken with mushroom, but it's red. So that makes it cool. Now, we can't forget about the newer stuff Mojang has added either. The Deep Dark was an amazing addition to Minecraft. It introduced the Warden and various blocks in the Deep Dark. If you come down here for any reason though, you'll need to be more careful. This guy is really hard to fight, but that's why I think adding more mobs that just make your life harder could be funny. The first guy is the Skulk Leech. Completely harmless, right? I mean, they do minimal damage and they kind of just crawl around. Well, they make sounds. Imagine you're walking around the Deep Dark while sneaking and spot one of these guys. The instant they make noise, it's over. And don't worry, there's a mob for that too. The Stalker, no, not that Stalker, is a low-level boss that has a lot of health. And it spawns leeches as it takes damage or walks around. Like, literally, it can spawn hundreds of leeches. Now, you could try to kill it, you know, go mining, get netherite, make a sword and enchant it with sharpness 5, but guess what? It still takes like 20 hits. By the time you've done enough damage to kill it, you would have already spawned multiple wardens. You still get absolutely destroyed regardless by 10 wardens. But still, adding a mob like this could be really unique, and I think the Deep Dark could use some unique mobs. Just like there are skeletons for the desert or zombies for the desert like husks and water zombies like drowns, I think adding the Shattered, which is just a skeleton turned into a warden, could be really cool. Hopefully you're really careful when you see this guy, because he's similar to the warden. Thankfully, he can't shoot supersonic beams at you, but he can still summon the warden. Just make sure you're not near a shrieker or the shriekworm. Yeah, let's make the game more painful to play. By adding the shriekworm to the game, it would add additional factors to worry about in the Deep Dark. If you're running away from another mob in the game and happen to find one of these guys, you might as well just throw the white flag up and just give up. They do a lot of damage to you, and you guessed it, they shriek. The chances of it triggering the warden are literally guaranteed at some point. But don't worry, they don't shriek naturally. No, of course not. Instead, they shriek when you hit it, meaning there's no way to kill it without summoning the warden. To make matters even worse, this thing has unnecessary amounts of health. By the time you even do enough damage to this thing for it to feel it, you'll have the entire militia after you. Of course, if your goal isn't to make the game extremely awful to play, maybe the Skulk Centipede is more your speed. These guys can do a bit of damage, but they drop bones. Yeah, I don't know, man. But using these bones, craft different things, or just collect them. Yeah, I really don't know what these are for. Regardless, adding something like this can be amazing. It adds a new bug mob and expands on the Deep Dark. You could even add this little guy. The Skulk Snapper's only goal is to make you hate the game, which is great, because that's what the Deep Dark already does. But this guy would just roam around the Deep Dark, munching on whatever he wants. While on the surface, a few more mobs would be cool. We already have dolphins, so I think adding sharks to that's not a shark. Adding the Thrasher to the game would be cool. It adds an annoying mob in the water. You already have the Guardians and other various water mobs, but those aren't as common. So adding a mob that's around in the water fairly often can help solve this issue, or make it worse. Or if you want to hate your life even more, you could add this giant Thrasher to the game. Even worse than the Thrasher, this guy takes multiple crit attacks with a fully enchanted netherite sword. Even then, he'll probably give you diabetes by the time you finish killing him. I just think overall, adding a new mob that adds varying difficulty to each biome can be really cool. The mob system we have is pretty nice. There are useful mobs, cool mobs, and even fun mobs. But if you agree that the mob system should be improved, you should subscribe. If you do, I'll give you orange juice. And click the video on screen now. It would help a ton.